Hi folks, welcome back to the 8 Regents. So, today we have game 4 of Baratheon versus Tyrell, and this is the game I played, so I'm recording commentary later. And game 2 went pretty well for us. Dennis won that one, but we lost game 3 with Stephen against Lannister. So it's at this point in time it was 2-1 in favor of Baratheon, so pressure on me to win this one against Johannes. And I brought Bara Wars. This was my main deck for the Realm era before the new pack was released, and it's very similar to the deck that won me the Italian Nationals. Just changed one of the plots, I think, or actually I changed it back. I originally had Barring the Gates in that deck, and then I swapped it for Close Call, and now back to Barring against Tyrell because I was expecting maybe some shadows. But Qohor, not something I expected, and I wasn't sure what to expect here in this particular game, so setting up Melisandre with a White Raven but no Summerhall, so that was immediately somewhat dangerous. And Randall Tarly definitely not something I wanted to see on the board. He can stand just with the agenda triggers by bringing in attachments that increase his strength, which is quite annoying. So going for Late Summer Feast and hoping for the best here. As you can see, I also have Gendry without the Iron Throne and the Northern Encampment, so that's all cards that need specific support to work. And forced to go first here. But some good news at least, so top decked that Iron Throne. So I am free to marshal the location. It should survive. So the Iron Throne and Melisandre Dup non-negotiable here. And usually with Late Summer Feast you want to marshal Robert, since that's the high gold plot, but that doesn't bring me the Melisandre tree. Okay, I could do Robert and Rolor Infiltrator, but I also like the look of that traitor on Randall Tarly potentially. So just making the calculation. Gendry and the 3 cost character leaves me with 2 gold, 1 for traitor, which I can marshal on Randall Tarly since he is likely to stand, and then 1 gold left for a privileged position. That could be used for something like Growing Strong, I suppose. Now I was hoping for the best here, for some way not to lose the power challenge and lose that White Raven. And yeah, 5 gold with no economy was looking alright for me, but here comes Bounty, and that's immediately much better for Johannes, so if something strong comes in here, it's a problem. And that is a problem. The Knight of Flowers, I have the power icons to defend, but not against his ability. If he attacks alone, I cannot win the power challenge. So that's my Raven gone. Yeah, I was looking at this at the time and I thought, okay, no ladies, so I won't be conceding any huge amount of power, but yeah, works on lords as well. And that's another killer. Seized on my Iron Throne, so now I am in real danger of losing the power challenge and losing dominance, which would then sack Gendry as well, and that would be tough to recover from. Yeah, so this deck is basically dominance rush, just playing White Ravens with the Iron Throne, and Chamber and Winter Festivals tries to win very quickly, and then if it doesn't, it reverts to the usual Baran Neil with Robert and Melisandre Throne Chamber combination, which is the deck I have played most often in the game's history. But yeah, it's not the best version of Baran Neil if you're forced to play that, because of course there is no Blackwater Bay here for a constant stream of cards, and the agenda gives prize away, so the longer the game goes on, more problematic that becomes, and there are no war plots really here apart from heads on spikes, so I wasn't even trying to avoid the prized. And going for the military challenge because I thought that's one he kind of has to try to defend because of yeah, I'm reducing his board, but lets it go. Yeah, so the current situation is that I will lose the power challenge, but I am winning dominance at least with Gendry, and of course fiery followers, if it's not taken for military claim or anything like that, can stand, and I have 1 gold as well. Just checking the situation with attachments here. That's one of the 2 he can potentially replace. So I'm going for the power challenge. If the Knight of Flowers defends, I figured, okay, that sacks my Raven anyway, and at least he has no standing characters and can do his agenda then. But yeah, he leaves it unopposed, and okay, at least there is some pressure with my gaining some power early on as well. Yeah, so if he puts an attachment that stands Randall Tarley, that's fine, I guess. He still can't contribute any strength to dominance, and then he can do the military challenge. I was thinking, is there any way in which Gendry needs to remain standing for me to win dominance? And I gambled that he didn't. So defending that just to stall a bit longer, because power is gained here. There's power claim, there is the plot. And here comes an attachment. Knighted on Randall Tarley. Yeah, and he does the military. And what now? Do have a very useful fiery followers that stands for dominance. I also have a dupe on Melisandre, but I was thinking maybe I would be forced to play Morghulis at some point, but Randall is duped, so that's a problem. So claiming Melisandre, and already 5 power gain just from that, from 1 standing character basically. And Outkeeper stands Randall Tarley, but yeah, he has that attachment which helps me survive dominance, and that's hugely important, because I not only have Gendry who would sack himself, I also have Northern encampment, and that would really hurt my economy if that stayed nailed. Yeah, and Johannes just realizing, of course, that that traitor was blocking Randall's strength on dominance. No march to the wall, unfortunately. And this isn't really the situation to be playing those winter festivals. There's a decent chance of having summer plots in Tyrell that block it. And I don't have the ravens. And even struggling, of course, to win dominance with that throne. At least Gendry has power on him now, so he won't sacrifice himself. And 5 cards in hand. Threw a character away and only has 2 on the board, so I was thinking there has to be some characters there in hand that could be useful. So with Winter Festivals not doing much, I was thinking here, deciding between heads on spikes and exchange of information, which would give me 6 gold, not enough to play Robert. Yeah, there is a summer plot, as you can see. And I was thinking, do I go first? Because, yeah, the Qohor will do some annoying things, but I guess better to have all the Qohor triggers done with before before it's my turn for challenges. And I didn't hit a character, but this is not too bad. He has 4 gold and was counting on that bounty probably to marshal stuff, so maybe the characters he had are all high cost. And that's 1 gold off the seized, but still have to suffer that for 2 rounds. And I do have Summerhall, unfortunately. Too late to protect my ravens, but not all bad. Summerhall does prevent Qohor in the power challenges. I'm just checking this if it stands Randall, but currently he does not have the Knight trait, so just by attacking that won't stand him. Yeah, but here comes the courtier. So he stands from, in this particular round, just from the plot, of course, and then courtier will stand something as well. And I have 1 Melisandre trigger and the Milk of the Poppy. Which, of course, I was considering putting on Randall Tarly to stop all the stand. However, Sweet Sleep blocks Oathkeeper and blocks my traitor to the crown as well, and this is not looking good here. Now he contributes strength to dominance as well. Yeah, just checking if he is a knight. At present he is not. Yeah, so Robert is one option, or just play the other cards I have. I could play the Melisandre trigger with the Infiltrator, Milk and Summerhall. May as well need him this round because they all stand like crazy here. And he is the strongest, and Knight of Flowers is the one that should be getting the milk now. And leaves me with 1 gold, so I wasn't sure if I was winning dominance, so obviously triggering the encampment gives you 2 gold, which helps winning dominance, but then it's risky, and I thought, okay, if I can get away with it, leave that standing. If the worst happens, I'll have the 2 gold next round. Maybe play exchange of information. And currently he has Sweet Sleep, Oathkeeper and Seized, and yeah, on the plus side for me, Sweet Sleep and Seized are kind of they kind of have to stay because they're doing important work. So it's only the Oathkeeper really that can be traded. So not much to think about here. I just need to oppose anything I can basically. And no intrigue icons, which is nice. I do have Robert, of course, who I would like to play at some point. But I'm sure there is a little bird. Yeah, that's why I like to play Robert on Late Summer Feast in the opening if I have him, because as you can see I have the 2 economy locations, but it's barely enough with my 4 gold plots. I can get to 7, which is just enough. And with Winter Festival I could get to 8. Maybe investing in a backup econ plot here would be the thing to do in this deck. But I thought, okay, I'll keep it as it is, go for the rush with the Winter Festivals, just in case Tyrell is playing some kind of slow Shadows deck with Political Disaster. And I do have the 2 resets, Morgulis and Harris, which I am grateful for. At least the Harris should be doing some work. It will get rid of the Knight of Flowers for sure, because Randall already has some power on him, and unfortunately the other 2 characters are 2 cost, so he gets to keep them all. Yeah, here comes the stand. He doesn't have Renown, and currently on 8 strength, so blocking with 4 stops potentially superior claim. And now what does he do? Probably trades that... oh, actually he cannot. I do have Summerhall, so that's why I said earlier it was very useful. It's here almost entirely for the Ravens, so that they don't sacrifice themselves, but occasionally you do get a second use of the location in an unexpected way, and this is it. Actually, the game shouldn't even prompt this Qohor trigger, so gets to shuffle his deck here, which I don't think should be allowed, but okay. And of course, this didn't actually happen, but the log says so. Oathkeeper stays on the board. Yeah, good card, Summerhall. But it is a little risky if something happens to it. And you have a couple of Ravens. Nightmares are one of those windblown that are very good at assaulting the little locations. things go downhill quite quickly. And now we have the Knight of Flowers. So unless he brings in a military icon, I should be safe after this one. And defending with the character I was going to use as Claim Soak. Yeah, it's tricky if you don't face this often. As you saw, I even forgot myself, of course, that Qohor wouldn't work. And it works on the military challenge, stopping Melisandre now. Okay, I didn't actually have anything else for her, but that is useful for Johannes for sure. And I'm winning dominance currently, and I can afford to do a challenge. Now what do I do here? All three are important, but power I cannot push through because his plot and the jousting pavilion will allow Sir Colin to win against Gendry. So I can do intrigue and military potentially. Yeah, I went just for military in the end. I think I was concerned about dominance for some reason. If he left Colin standing, but Fiery Follower stand as well, so seems like a bad call. And that exposes Randall Tarly to Morghulis now. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe, okay, he defends military because he can't afford Claim Soak, and then I could win power unopposed and equalize the game, but no, of course he didn't go for that, so the other play would have been better for me. And I don't have a great Dohaeris here, because I don't have a hand, and I'm losing a character. So I was thinking, do I just play one of the 5 gold plots, whatever it is, to help me Marshal Robert? Or do I go for exchange to get more cards? And there is heir to the throne now that Melisandre is milked. I can trade her. Maybe I trade her for Robert and I have a dupe in hand. Yeah, I thought about it 3 times. Yeah, the hair is coming at some point, so wasn't that confident in putting Robert on the board here. I was kind of happy to see that time of plenty because I'm struggling with the cards. And went for Delena because of the Harris, so that now looks a lot better. I can keep all 3 of these, and she brings in Edric, who can help me win dominance even against Seized. Not to mention, of course, that she stops the stand, so no more Courtier, no more Randall Tarly. and a duped Brienne, so that pretty much settles it here. I'm thinking already of the Harris, and keeping these three is a pretty good deal for me, so can just marshal the claim soak. Just checking what her condition is for not kneeling. Two characters and Lady Sansa's Rose, which can be triggered this round, most likely. And I was going to win intrigue, so I was thinking, okay, if I take Lady Sansa's Rose, just so nothing happens, I guess I could have made a calculation here, but it's a bit complicated. If I remove that, then with the intrigue claim I can hit one of the two characters for sure, and then if Red leaves play, he's not giving a character back after the reset. Yeah. Risky encampment, because I do want to play the chamber and have gold for Sin in Flames. But then I'm not guaranteed to win dominance, so Edric helps there, and that's one too many for the Harris, really. So in the end, doesn't seem like a great call. But not too bad, so I have Sin in Flames and Intrigue Claim to get rid of those two characters potentially. Yeah, this time going for military first because Summerhall stops Qohor. And it's not too bad for me. As you can see, I have Delena, so Randall Tarley won't be able to stand. And if he swaps an attachment for the milk, then that happens after claim. So unlikely to stand then with the things he has in play. I don't think it's possible. And then the power challenge still has that Summerhall block, so I was confident there wouldn't be any stand here. Or at least I'm confident now. When commentating on the game, obviously had to think about this at the time, and that's what the delay is here. Just checking, because I do know the hand and I can see all the cards in play. And there isn't any strength increase. So defending with everyone lets me win this. And then Qohor can't happen on the power challenge. And that seems like the thing to do. Why give it a chance to happen? I don't know what surprises could still be in the deck. On the downside, that gets rid of both of my intrigue icons, so I'm not getting rid of two characters here. I can only play Sin in Flames to discard one. and I will lose the power for sure. And it's tough to imagine that the one character left standing would be able to win the power back. Yeah, attacking with the two renowned characters. And now stand possible, so he has 3 left for dominance, and I have enough to win that. And even with Delena attacking here and Fiery Follower standing, I still have enough. But there is no point because Sir Colin just defends successfully. And I forgot Sin in Flames here. Actually, Sin in Flames and Fiery Followers, that wouldn't be enough. I would have 3 for dominance, but I do have Edric. Okay, so it wasn't in question. And this is not that easy. I would like to get rid of both of these, but I think it was sensible to defend against the potential Qohor trigger. He has no intrigue icons, which is really good for me, because that's the one challenge that I can just forget about. But then Knight of Summer is potentially another renowned body, and power getting dangerous even if I get rid of Knight of Flowers and Brienne next round. And I'm doing alright myself, but no chamber. And now that I've not even lost a character to military claim, I have a few too many on the board here, and Harris is going to hurt me. Not too bad though. I do have... he does lose the attachment here seized, and then he has Sweet Sleep as the only one. I have Milk and Traitor employed, those are mine, so... And no attachments in hand, that limits his Qohor potential. And Harris still leaves me with 7 gold to be able to play Robert, even if I don't top deck anything. Yeah, I was looking at that exchange, but I don't have time. Power is on 10, and I'm starting to give prize away now after this round, so... Another named the Interney, which did a lot of damage. I think he got to 6 power in the opening round. He has a character in hand, so I'm thinking, do I go first and force him to defend military? But he'll have that courtier in place, so not worth it. And now it's a question of top decking better than he does. He has this Mera in hand, as we saw. I have Robert. And this is not the worst thing. Sea is gone, so I could do Alistair, get another card, get the Econ, get Chamber. Of course, Alistair can just trigger. And he got the milk on Delena. But not awful, because he has only two attachments, Sweet Sleep and the milk. If he trades milk, then he cannot stand. If he trades Sweet Sleep, then Traitor to the Crown becomes active and Randall Tarly is much worse. And I decided here to go for Alistair rather than Robert, I think. Because I have the draw from him, and then if there's nothing I can play the Chamber. Or do I play Robert? Let's see. Yeah, the thing about Robert, there are no hidden cards anymore, it's all open information, so I can actually defend stuff here. I can defend the military challenge, which was looking like a good prospect. But then I could do that with Alistair just the same. Robert does give me a kind of a lock after this round. If I defend to prevent the Qohor trigger, okay, I can defend Intrigue against this Mera, so that's the worry. Other than that, I could get the Robert trigger, and then suddenly game could swing in my favor with Throne and Chamber for the remainder of the game. Although his spread of costs is slightly annoying. He has the low cost curve, which yeah, would keep all of my characters net as well, and just the one high coster. But I went for this in the end. Now I guess the plan is to defend the military, which would allow him to trigger Qohor. Power is stopped by a Summer Hall, and then Intrigue I cannot do anything about, so that's the one that I guess we just have to wait and see. Yeah, I don't need the Intrigue icon, he has no hand, and I cannot defend against this Mera. And again, not really worried about the Qohor trigger here on the Intrigue, because if he gets rid of milk, he cannot stand Randall Tarly because of Delena, and if he gets rid of Sweet Sleep, he can stand him, but still has Traitor, and he is done with doing any challenge, I think. I didn't want to lose Alistair. He was the only character and had draw as well. Was hoping to lose privileged position. But I guess it's time for exchange anyway. And here we go. Milk gone. And we have tourney lands. And that's a good play. That means I cannot defend with both against him, and he has 6 with his ability and the location. And that lets him push the power challenge through. Yeah, thinking here, do I defend it and then just do the power back, or do I leave it unopposed and do 2 challenges back? Getting rid of characters is important here, especially since Robert might have to let the little guy stand. But yeah, he's on 9 and plot and claim, so I cannot afford it, I have to defend. Again, I gave it 5 seconds just to consider the military to reduce the board, but no time, have to do power. Yeah, he's getting prompted for the courtiers because Colin gets plus strength, but can't be used because of Delena. So that's going to be 10-9 with dominance, or 10-10 actually. I have Gendry. And giving prize away, of course, now every round. 1 copy of Gendry just as a backup target for Delena's search here. She usually takes Edric, but she can't take Gendry if there's a good economy. But I had him on setup basically, or in round 1, and he gained a lot of power, so lucky to have that. And now decision time. Cost 5 plus means it's Randall knelt, everything else standing, and 4 minus means I get Robert back against Randall Tarly and the courtier. That's a very bad deal at this point, and unfortunately had to let all of them stand. And Randall stands himself. No good solution. And now going for the draw, and he plays exchange. So happy to have kept him knelt now. Yeah, I can't lose Gendry here, so Robert has to go. Yeah, so he can give me a useless economy location and what else? The reducer, but he has to give me set down or deeds. That's the only event revealed here, and it's a draw card. No attachments, unfortunately. And just waiting here for the draw phase to see what I get, and unfortunately it's not great. So I get 2 more characters and some economy, but I have potentially 9 gold if I use all the locations. So I took a chance here. And if Morghulis is going to be played to get rid of Randall Tarly, I just got rid of everything now. That's now 11-6, which is a different proposition, 9 minutes remaining. And to be honest, I didn't even draw that well. Some more economy, Robert, who is quite expensive, but I can afford him. And I have Shirin. Colin, potentially a good target for Milk, now that he has the Tourney Lance. So I was basically thinking, do I play Robert or do I play everything else? And I play everything else, I think. Which is not that great to play out all the characters with Morghulis coming. But even with Morghulis, I still have the economy to play Robert that round. And in the end I left that Milk alone. But here comes the dupe. Did not want to see that. Yeah, he's going to win power on attack. So I may as well do all the challenges here. And gets rid of the dupe. That's exactly what I wanted. Still can bring in a bodyguard if he can. And okay, intrigue. There is no hand and I have to defend because he is on 11. So leaving that character. And I can do power against this Mera. This should be enough. And against Colin it won't be. But at least that nails him for defense, so he obviously lets that one go. And I've crawled back from that 6 back up to 9. Threw some away for the event. 3 away, so I would be on 12 now, but yeah, wouldn't have these cards. And Shirin defends. And I think he does the intrigue here as well. No reason not to. And unfortunately I lose connection here, so let's cut this part out. Okay, so we lost about 90 seconds here, I think. And I think we are at the point where this man is still doing her intrigue challenge. And time running out, so this is quite important. Certainly don't want to lose or win because of connection problems. And this one I have to defend. At this point there is Sweet Sleep and Tourney lands, and a lot of cards already in the discard pile. So let's see if Qohor does anything. And the intrigue claim, very favorable. Stormlands Fiefdom, definitely not something I needed. And Qohor does nothing. Gendry and Chamber, that's 11 for me, 10 for him. And yeah, it's going to be 11-11 after giving Prized away. I can save the power from Gendry. Then I was thinking, okay, if I do Winter Festival, Throne Chamber, my challenges, Robert and his renown, that wins the game. But if I do Morghulis, he loses 5 power on Randall Tarly, and that's 11-6 to me, and no way that he can beat me before time runs out. And he plays Compelled, and that's just the worst thing. As you can see, he saves all the power, so now it's a top deck battle. Shireen not even doing anything here because everything will die. And the 2 cards in his hand now will be Tourney Lands and Lady Sansa's Rose. Fortunately, Sweet Sleep is terminal, so that's gone, and I do have a milk. And he goes first here, so we can see what he gets, and I get Imri. And that should be game winning. That's the best possible card. Maybe along with Cilicia I could have possibly drawn here. And 1 character. Arrogant Contender. With a single, with 2 icons, no power icon. He will get his Tourney Lands, of course, which can be traded for something else, but doubtful whether it can be traded for stand. And yeah, fortunately I did not get any other characters, so I cannot play Imri and Robert, and Robert is not strong enough to win the military challenge, so he would simply die. But still, I think that unless Qohor does something, that still wins me the game with Throne and Chamber. But I can just kneel this guy. There is 1 mystery card that I don't know about, but it's unlikely that it could stand him. And I do have an extra Summer Hall here. Now time has run out, not sure exactly when, but so we would have an extra 90 seconds, so I was just wondering if Johannes wants another round here, because the connection problems were my fault. But yeah, we need to pass. I'm still marshalling actually, and then we need to pass challenges and trigger Throne Chamber. Yeah, if we played really fast, maybe there would be time for another round. of course I am then 13-10 ahead. Yeah, Morgulis did save me. I got rid of the board. Then, of course, he was top decking, so with a single character, couldn't do that much damage, but he could have drawn something better. And just checking if I would have won next round, and this is Silisi is pretty good for sure. So I have Winter Festival for 5 gold, and I think I have yeah, I have enough economy even to play Silisi and Robert after her, so that's a good situation. Yeah, and in hindsight, claiming Randall Tarley earlier didn't make a difference because Shireen nailed him anyway, but he could have stood, of course, with his ability. That was always a possibility. Okay, so important win. That gives us a 3-1 lead and 3 match points, basically, in the next 3 games. And we do have 2 of those recorded for you, so hopefully you can join me on those as well.